Hey guys, welcome back to another video. A little bit different of a setting today than my usual video, and that is because today I will be cutting some grass with this monstrous machine, and I'm going to explain a little bit why. I know it's a little bit different of a setting than you might be used to on my channel. Today I'm filling in for my brother. He had a concussion, unfortunately, and he took over my old landscaping business. Some of you guys may know before I did all the trading and YouTube and media business stuff, I had a little bit more humble of a beginning. I started a landscaping business, which is actually where I got some of my initial trading capital. So it's a little bit of a humble thing, but it is a little bit of a throwback today. I am back cutting grass for some of my old clients, filling in for my brother. Hopefully he's feeling better soon, but in the meantime, figured I would just show you guys a little bit of a blast from the past, if you will, with some of my old business. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that little insight on my landscaping business background. In today's video, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about how to actually build trading accounts and do it in a way that is actually really, really good for the long term. I'm going to share a little bit of my story like you saw a glimpse of there in the beginning of the video. I actually found some of my original trading capital from starting various businesses and side hustles. And I actually want to sort of re-engineer the way you look at trading for a second. A lot of people jump into trading and they look for these sort of, fast, massive returns that are going to build their trading account from their trading. And I want to sort of actually re-engineer, like I said, this idea of how to actually grow a trading account. And instead of just relying on insane returns, I want to break down why, number one, that leads to lots of blown accounts, but also number two, how we can actually do it in the real world. At the end of the day, your goal is probably like mine in the sense that in the long term, I would like to have my trading accounts generate, my trading and investing accounts, I should say, generate a large portion of my income. But the reality is that in the short term, it's not very easy to do that. A lot of people want to end up trading for a living, right? They want to be able to have a large enough trading account that the profits that they are building can pay for their lifestyle. And the reality is that that is quite difficult to do on a small trading account. And what do I mean by small? Well, I'm going to speak from US standards. In the USA, I would say a small trading account is anywhere less than, very, very small is anywhere less than $10,000. Okay. Now, and that is in the US. That might be different in other places, but in the US, a $10,000 trading account or less is very, very small. And I'm going to tell you why in just a second. So, and honestly, even under less than 50K an account, truthfully, it is still small in the grand scheme of things in the US. Now, again, like I said, that can be different in other places, but even $50,000 in a trading account here in the United States is fairly small. And it really, even you could keep going 50 to 100K really. And you might say, well, that seems like a ton of money. And it is a lot of money. Don't get me wrong. But in terms of a trading account that's going to, sort of pay for your entire living expense, let's actually break this down for a second. And I'm going to show you something very, very important. So let's say that you are, working with a $10,000 account really quick. If we're working, actually, we'll clear the screen. If we're working with a 10K account, right? And we are able to produce returns in the market at something that is fairly, actually, let's go with what people generally would say. Let's say they want to make like $1,000 per month off of this account. They want to make $1,000 from their 10,000 every single month. This is not only very, very ridiculous, but it's actually really difficult to do consistently. You might have people in the YouTube comments who debate it, but I promise you, if you ask them for a link to their myfxbook.com account, if you want them to show you proof, they won't be able to do it because nobody I have ever met in my trading career is able to consistently pull 10% per month out of the market. And again, I know that comment always upsets people in my YouTube channel. So I know that there will be people who disagree with me on that. But again, I would ask you, if you're a newer trader, find someone, show me someone who's able to do 10% per month and can actually prove it, not just say and show you screenshots, because that doesn't mean anything. People can fake stuff on the internet. But anyways, that's a whole nother rant. The idea here is that, okay, that's probably sort of ridiculous to expect every single month. Now, if you're looking at something more reasonable, in my view, let's say that we're going for something like 2% or maybe 3% per month. This is a pretty good average in my opinion. Now, I know, like I said, people are going to disagree with me. 2 to 3% is fairly fair in my view, because now you might have a month where you make 5% or even 10%, but you're not going to have every month that's so good. You might have months where you make 1% or -1% or -3% or 4%. But if you can average 2 to 3% per month, I'm going to say that that is fairly good returns. But then when you actually look at what those numbers mean, $200 to $300 on a $10,000 investment. And that's where people really don't like this. They don't like me talking about this because, again, the reality is that on a $10,000 account, only making $200 to $300 doesn't sound very good. Don't get me wrong, that's even worse when you go to 1,000 and you make $20 to $30, right? And people just don't like that concept. So again, if you're going to want to trade for a living, it's sort of far off unless you have a large amount of capital to begin with. Now we can take a look at $100,000 and you can start to see that the numbers are already looking a whole lot better. If we take that same concept of 2 to 3% per month, now you're actually talking about 2 to 3K a month, which is actually way more realistic, especially if you're in the US, you're married, you have a partner who is also making money, etc. You know, that starts to actually line up for making more reasonable amounts of money. But you're talking about a $100,000 investment, which again, this is still sort of on the upper limits of a small, professional trading sized account. Now, where do we go from there? If $100,000 is small and 2 to 3% per month only makes us $2,000 to $3,000, how are we going to live that grand beach lifestyle that we see all over the internet? Well, in the short term, the answer is you are not. Okay, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but if you guys watch my YouTube channel long enough, you will find out that I am not afraid to be the bad guy if it means telling you guys the truth. I'm here to not spew, nonsense. I consider myself a reasonably straight up guy, realistic person, and I'm not here to lie to you. The reality is that trading for a living is very difficult and few people ever get anywhere close. Now, if you do want to get close and you've made it this far in the video, then first of all, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. Now you're on the real side of this thing. Now we're really talking here, and I really appreciate you sticking around because most people have clicked off the video by now. They're not interested in what I have to say because it doesn't sound all hype and really exciting. So if you've made it this far, then hey, what's up? Welcome to the real side of the video. Now let's talk about actually building a trading account and trading it like a pro. So again, we've got that figure in mind: 2, 3 to 4% per month as sort of a baseline realistic figure to achieve with a lot of work, practice, and discipline. Yeah, okay, we got that in mind. Let's actually take a constructive approach now. If we look at our trading account, we'll put trading account here. If we look at our trading account as a source of income in the short term, it's going to be really, really depressing, right? Because you're going to say, well, 2 to 3%, if I only have $1,000 or $10,000, it's really not going to do much for me. But like I said, this is where the stuff gets interesting. If you look at this as a longer term, approach, I want you to view your trading account, or at least consider, this is what I do, even to this day, since I'm always building up capital through multiple sources of income. Hint, that's what we're about to talk about. If we're looking at an account, right? Instead of looking at it as a short-term money-making machine, look at it as like an advanced savings account. If you put your money in the bank, right? If you put your money here in the US, we're seeing record low interest rates here in the US. You're going to get like nothing per year for sticking your money in the bank. But if you know how to trade and you're able to produce something like 2 to 3% per month over time, that compounding ability has a monumental impact on the potential of your wealth over time. So if we view this not as a short-term, make some beer money and get out sort of system, which is what most retail new, losing traders do, if we view this as an advanced savings account with a long-term outlook, this is where things get really interesting. You might not have $10,000 today. You might not have $100,000 today. You might not have a 1 million account today, but maybe someday you will. And how do we get there? Well, this is where we start adding in multiple sources of income that we can actually use to contribute to our trading account. The whole time, by the way, you're going to continue to be mastering your skill as a trader. And the main focus of this video is that if you want to build a trading account, you have got to look at it through the lens of an investor or a long-term plan. This is not something that's going to get you out quickly. It's going to be a long-term journey. So if you're looking to trade tomorrow for a living and you've got $10,000, I'm sorry to break it to you. It's probably not going to happen. But if you've got $10,000 today and you're going to work your way up to $100,000 through mediums like a job, through mediums like investing in other things, if you are able to pick up side hustles, right? I know someone in our private group who is a tutor on the side. So they, I'll give this example. I'm not going to name their name, but this person has a job, they have a side hustle, and of course they trade. And they're actually successful at their trading. They do quite well with their trading. Again, going for those realistic, slow and steady returns. And they've been able to work their way up this ladder through their job, depositing through their job, depositing through their side hustle, which I don't know if I mentioned this yet or not, but they are a tutor. So they do like school tutoring, like math tutoring, I believe is what the person does. And so through their job and through their side hustle, they are depositing into their trading account. And the whole time they are actually trading this money. And so they are reinvesting the gains. They're not taking any of their trading account out. What they're doing is they're just recycling, right? So they're taking their job money, they're putting in their trading account, taking their side hustle, putting in their trading account, and then trading their trading account and compounding it over time. You combine all those things, and my friend, you are looking good. This is what it takes to really make money in the Forex market, in the stock market, as an investor, as a trader. The key element here is that if you really want to make it, yes, you have to put all the work in to learn to trade. We've got an entire YouTube channel here where, we talk all the time about this sort of stuff. But it's also combining the outside forces to your advantage. There's one more here that I want to talk about that is probably one of the most important variables that ain't nobody want to hear about, which is time. The final variable that I'm going to mention, so you've got a job, you've got side hustles going on, is time. If you are realistically trying to get to a point where you can trade for a living, it's going to take time. It's going to take time for all of this to develop. You've got to work that, job that you are doing and, work the side hustle and bust it especially if you're young like me, this is the time to grind. I have a media company. What you're seeing right now is a part of that, right? I create content on YouTube, and that was by no means, it didn't make any money for a while. And, slowly we started to partner with some brokers and we started getting our, articles and videos and stuff that started to spider. But again, that's the whole thing is if you've got a side hustle, if you've got a job. I used to work at, a software job. So, combining all these things and putting money into, the trading account, that's what's really going to long-term, make it possible for you as a trader, especially if you are someone who doesn't have a lot to begin with. That's sort of the goal with this video. And like I said, if you made it to the end here, most people have clocked out of this video. Most people do not want to hear this. And I honestly think that is why most traders never make any money, is I think it is mostly due to the impatience that trading, sort of demands otherwise. Trading demands that if you're going to be long-term successful, you've got to do practices that make you money long-term. You can't go for, flipping your account in a month, because if you do that, you might actually, let's say that you do go down the account flipping, you buy into that hype and BS that you see on social media, and you say, okay, well, fine, I don't want to do all this. That's all nonsense. That's all boring, slow, boomer stuff. I want to take this 1K and I want to turn it to 2K. You might actually do that successfully, but you have done it through means that are super high risk. You've risked the entire 1K account. And truthfully, a lot of people just blow that money completely. So they'll just lose a K trying to flip their money. But let's say you do it successfully. And then you say, okay, we'll bet I'll do it again. I'll double my money. And let's say they even have a really great streak. They turn 1K into 4K and they're looking like a genius. I am promising you this. I have received way too many messages where people say this has happened to them. They've taken a small amount of money, they doubled it again, and then they lost every penny through doing the same practice. You might get in trading, there is a thing such as luck, right? You can get lucky. Especially this happens a lot to new traders who get in, they think they're hot, they double their account, they quadruple their account, they 10 times their account, and then they keep trying to do it. And because they don't have any sort of risk management in play, their luck runs out and they go to zero. This is almost a surefire way, if you continue to try and gamble your way to a big account, a almost certain way to lose your initial investment, and if not more than that. So I'm not about that life. I am way more likely to be on this camp, which is the slow and steady route that ain't nobody want to hear about. Like I said, this is the boring way to actually make it in trading in the long term. So if you are down for that message, if you made it to the end of the video, I really appreciate you make it to the end of the video. I say that every once in a while on these longer videos, but seriously for this one, I think that you definitely deserve some praise. So do me a favor, if you made it to the end of the video, comment down below in the comment section, and I'll try and heart your comment. I'm here for you people, you know, those sort of people that make it to the end of these kind of videos. I absolutely appreciate so much. So with that said, good luck on everything. I hope this was helpful to you. If it was, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you back next time, guys.